right, Mexican Roadshow supporters, let's talk about those lunatic bees over at The View because, well, their TDS was showing again. Oh, can you put that up? That sucker, that booger's ugly. Oh, put that TDS up. Well, it was in full effect on The View. And, of course, the lowest hanging of the fruits, and trust me, these are some fruit cakes, the lowest hanging of the fruits is to refer to Trump as Adolf Hitler and Trump supporters as Nazis. Even though, correct me if I'm wrong, only one side of the aisle looks like Jew haters right now? Question mark. What side of the aisle would those people be on? The lunatic left. I think that would be the ones, right? The radical wing, progressive wing of the Democratic Party. Well, they were at it again yesterday. And, of course, Joy Behar, the leading fruit in the fruit cakes, decided to go out there and say if you wear a MAGA hat, you might as well put a swastika on it. Now, I'm not sure exactly how these lunatics come to this, and there is a clip. We'll play it. I don't know how they come to determine this, but that Trump derangement syndrome blocks all of a coherent thought that any of these nutcases have. And you know what? I can't remember the other rhino they've got on this panel, the one that used to be on Trump's staff back in the day. But for her not to come out and slap this down, it's pretty repulsive. So let's take a look at this right here. Joy Behar told her co-host Tuesday on ABC's The View that people who wear MAGA hats should, quote, put a swastika on it. While discussing a since-removed video reposted to Donald Trump's Truth account that briefly showed an image calling for a, quote, unified right. The co-host, Sonny Hostin, said, quote, I think that it's so dangerous that he is willing to shout out the quiet part. And I don't understand what Biden can do really to counter that narrative, because if you don't hear what he's saying, then you're never going to hear anything. What are you even saying? And don't worry, folks, we'll get to Proud Americans absolutely tearing them a new asshole over this. But let's just take a look at the clip.
Shout out the quiet part.
Yeah.
And I don't understand what Biden can do really to counter that narrative, because if you don't hear what he's saying, then you're never going to hear anything.
I agree with the table on the severity of referencing the Reich, World War II. He's openly admired dictators. He respects them for being able to shut down the media and any dissenters and all those things. So I believe he thinks all those things. He dines with Nazis and white supremacists. All those things are true. I think this was a mistake by his campaign.
Neo-Nazis, I'm told.
Okay, neo-Nazis.
Not the old ones, the new ones.
The new ones.
But I think this was it reeks of thoughtlessness, not thoughtfulness. And what I mean by that is it was reposted on Truth of some no-name person that had cut something from 1871, which predates World War II. And then it had it was kind of thrown together. I do think it was Donald Trump that did it, though, because it happened on the lunch break of his trial. So I think the very nature of retweeting or reposting is reactive. It's mindlessness. But I think...
But why that word?
But my point here is I would argue that in this instance, on this moment with this campaign thing, this is the overreaction that creates more us and them. So people that want to be enraged, the Democrats, the outrage of the media coverage, I actually think this is a great example of what drives the two sides apart.
Can I just add one thing? I don't think that when this Third Reich comes into play, it's going to be only about Jewish people.
No.
It's about immigrants. It's about non-white people. It's about... let's get clear of who the targets are.
But I also want to mention, I think it's important we acknowledge, because this is specifically the neo-Nazi rhetoric, that we're in a moment where anti-Semitism is on the rise across the board. It exists on the far right and it exists on the far left, and we need leaders who can call it out on both sides. Joe Biden gave an important speech yesterday honoring Jewish American Heritage Month. He talked about anti-Semitism on both sides that we need to deal with, and we can't pretend it just exists on the right.
And by the way, out there, that hat that you keep wearing, that red hat that says "Make America Great Again," that tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a swastika on the hat.
Don't do that.
I mean, where do they come up with this? Truly. I mean, these people are truly crazy. They really are. So, this started making the rounds. And proud Americans, proud conservatives and Trump supporters did not let this one slide. Now, that's the Griffin lady that I was talking about. She used to be part of Trump's cabinet. And she sold her soul to the devils. To go out there and dance for the view. Let's put it that way. Vernon Jones. That's right. Vernon Jones. American Patriot. Best picture I can find of Joe Biden for Joy Behar in the view. Right there. How about some Grand Dragon action? How about that for you? I mean, seriously. It's always a projection for the far left, isn't it? I cannot imagine how they truly believe the crap that's coming out of their mouth, but they do. Is this all they talk about every morning? Trump is evil. Trump is Hitler. Trump supporters are Nazis. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, give it a rest. They are so scared and desperate to convince people to vote against Trump that they just look pathetic at this point. Nobody is buying this bullshit anymore. I don't know who watches these shows. It's got to be terrified, freakazoid, white liberal women, I assume, that actually watches The View now. And they're the craziest bees on the face of the planet Earth. Isn't it interesting how MAGA hats are associated with the swastika, while the anti-Israel chants and slogans don't receive the same scrutiny? ? That's a very damn good point. It really is. Here is the little Nazis versus Democrat compare and contrast. Build Back Better needs a swastika on it. Joy. Nazis, Democrats, socialism, no guns, censorship, media mind control, abortion, hate Jews and whites on the Democratic side, and worship the government. Check, 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 and a big fat check to round it out. Stupid and hateful is such an awful combination. It's a dangerous combination is what it is. It's a terrifying combination. This is a rather interesting quote. Joy is 81, and it always puzzles me when someone is so old that they reject the offer of eternal salvation and would rather go to hell instead. I mean, oh man, no, the one-way trip. Throw another shrimp on the Barbie when she gets down there. Another log on the fire. No, she'll probably get down there and tell the devil he's sitting in her seat. Wow. Meanwhile, it's mostly the liberal kids who attend universities that were calling for the extinction of Jews. So not winning the argument there, Joy. I still am confused by the whole Nazi argument and Trump supporters, yada, yada, yada. So let me click on this, get up. These propaganda shows need to have their own broadcast license revoked. We are sick of one-sided stories. I mean, serious. It's nuts. Whoopi knows that the DOJ is now hunting down people on X that reposted a meme of Biden appearing to poop his pants. This is crazy how she says you can say anything. Oh, no, you can't nowadays. Are they really coming for people over that poop the pants thing? That thing was hilarious. I mean, really. Brought to you by the Satanist at the ABC network and Disney. Is there any TV show that deserves being canceled more than this one? Nope, not even close. Let's make sure we throw Bob Iger under the bus in that, too. I mean, seriously. Joy Behar has been anti-Semitic for a long time, as is 98% of Hollywood. These women truly are nuts. Seriously, she's talking about half the damn country. No, she's talking about, look, I venture to say it's like 60%, 65% of the country of actual legal citizens. Now, Biden's done had the conveyor belt of assholes coming across the border that are probably going to vote left somehow, some way. So you get what I'm saying here. I would rather have a rectal exam by Shaq. Oh. Than to watch The View. Okay. Let's get more painful and visual. Yeah, I'd rather have an old school prostate exam with Shaq as the doctor, and then I'd have to ask Shaq, why do you have a hand on each one of my shoulders? That doesn't make sense right now, Shaq. Yikes. Yeah, it's a good old joke from, you could have bought me Burger King first. I mean, really? I think we should sue the crap out of The View and her. Seriously, it's crazy. Biden doesn't need a cognitive test. His voters do. I agree with that, yeah. This is good. There is no doubt that President Trump will receive a fair trial. Juror number 6 has been selected. And it's just Hillary Clinton wearing shades with a mustache and goatee painted on her face. Oh, yeah. And we'll just, ooh, God, look at that. Without makeup, with makeup. Whew. Yeah, so we'll end on this, but, you know, they made this meme, right? You better watch your back for making memes. Think about that speech he gave. You want to talk about Nazis now? That speech with the darkness behind, the Marines back there, and him with that Adolf Hitler fist in the air that he was sporting that night, going after one entire side of the country. These women are nuts. They really are. And look, the media is the real virus. This is exactly who we're talking about. When we came up with that motto, that slogan that's on a T-shirt near you, go grab it out of the merch store. But you get the point. It's these bees right here that are poisoning the water. I will say this. A lot more people have caught on to this shtick since the last election. A hell of a lot more people. X and Elon, it's got some responsibility for helping spread that message too. I think that has helped some, you know, but a lot of people have just sort of opened their eyes and was like, this doesn't scratch the sniff test. The other thing was Trump getting indicted. That woke a lot of people up and went, okay, this just doesn't feel right at all. You're trying to lock up your political enemies. Plain and simple. Tell me what you think about the bees on The View. Joy Behar. Yikes. And the role of Satan goes to. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.